Exclusive contract novel from Feilu Novel Network. Zombies. I rely on tattoos to create the ninth uncle of Daozu. Guna travels through the zombie world. Fortunately, he starts by binding the system and obtains a tattoo shop. Each type of tattoo he uses has a special effect and effect. Sheng said, after getting three-legged golden toads tattooed, someone always gives me money. It's so annoying. Wen Cai said, a zombie who has been practicing Taoism for 100 years can't stop me from punching. Ren Tingting said, Brother Gu, you agreed to give me a tattoo all over my back. Why did you change to the front? Mr. Ren said, Master Gu, after my father's tattoo, can you really ensure the safety of my Ren family for a lifetime? Uncle Qiu. Gu Xiaoyou, I heard that your tattoo effect is good. Do you have anything suitable for me? No one can imagine that just a few tattoos can completely change the situation in the zombie world. Uncle Qiu chased after the 4 zombie kings and slashed indiscriminately. Qiu Shengwen easily crushed the Ghost King, and Ren Tingting could instantly kill the Centennial Demon. Gradually, Guna became a legend in the zombie world, until a person named Jiang Zhenzu came to his door to ask for a tattoo. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Divine Tattoo Shop System. Do you want a sea of tattoos? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1 Divine Tattoo Shop System. Do you want a sea of tattoos? Renjia Town, at night. The moonlight is mottled, and the crows cry at night. Outside the town and in the suburbs, there are 2 bright lights. One is the Yizhuang, a place dedicated to collecting corpses for those who die horizontally. And the owner of the Yizhuang, Joshu, is also a famous Taoist priest in the 10-mile 8 villages. As for the other place, it is a newly opened tattoo shop. Tattoos spread out in the suburbs, which is quite fresh. At this point, inside the tattoo shop. Brother Gu, is this tattoo really so amazing? Sheng asked curiously. Gu Nie's tattoo shop is not far from the Yizhuang, and it doesn't take much time to come back and forth. Sheng had just finished practicing martial arts that night and couldn't wait to come find Gu Nie. Gu Nie is about the same age as him and has a wide range of knowledge. Just telling some stories is enough to broaden Sheng's horizons. As soon as they came and went, the two became acquainted and became friends. Moreover, Uncle Qiu also instructed Sheng not to offend Gu Nie easily as he was a person with true abilities. What do you think about the craftsmanship passed down by our ancestors for thousands of years? Gu Nie, who looked handsome, said calmly. Tattoos have existed since ancient times, but at that time, tattoos existed in the form of totems. Later, with the development of history, they gradually evolved into tattoos. Of course, tattoo is a modern term. Previously, it was called tattoo or nirvana. Gu Nie doesn't care much about the way it is called. Since the times are developing, he naturally needs to keep up with the times. You're right, Brother Gu. The last time you said that Fahai was also amazing. Sheng had an eager expression on his face, and he loved listening to Gu Nie tell stories the most. In this era lacking entertainment, novel stories are easy to fall in love with. So in this era, there have been many ghost stories about gods and gods. What kind of yellow-skinned person seeks to be sealed? Water ghosts harm people, ghosts who die recklessly by lives, drought demons travel thousands of miles, and so on. But these stories, Sheng has long been tired of listening to them. Until 6 months ago, Gu Nie moved in. Hee, Fahai is really powerful, Gu Nie smiled. He is a traveler. Due to an accident, I traveled through this chaotic world where zombies and ghosts were rampant and human lives were like grass. In this world, people without skills may not even know how they died. Even people with some skills can appear very weak when facing ghosts and zombies. To establish a foothold in this world, one must have true abilities or hold on to thick legs. And Uncle Qiu, obviously, is a big and thick leg. So, Gu Nia opened a tattoo shop next to the Yizhuang. Of course. Gu Nia traveled through time and naturally had the benefit of being a traveler. Divine Tattooer System. Through his hand tattoos, he possesses incredible power. This tattoo shop was also obtained from the system. With the confidence and capital to establish himself, Gu Nia also relaxed a lot. Talking and boasting during normal times is not a big deal. Telling stories was only a momentary impulse for Gu Nia, and the Fa Hai he had previously talked about was naturally the version of the great dragon Fa Hai. Where has Qiu Sheng heard such a story? Fa Hai, who can rival Buddha, was thrilled to hear it. Gu, do you think if I have a tattoo on my body, can I have the same level of magical power as him? Qiu Sheng couldn't help but ask. Young people dare to think and are not resistant to tattoos. Do you want a tattoo? It's not impossible, but your body is too weak now to carry Fa Hai. Gu Nia glanced at him and said seriously. Fa Hai, it's not impossible to tattoo. Qiu Sheng's body is indeed too weak now, and it is impossible for him to withstand the Fa Hai tattoo. You should know that Fa Hai, life and death are indifferent. If you don't agree, just do it. It's too ruthless. So, can I shoulder Fa Hai in the future? Qiu Sheng was in his prime of youth. Since we have decided to get a tattoo, of course we need to get a great one. It's hard to say, at least you need to have the same Taoist skills as Uncle Qiu. Gu Nia shook his head. Qiu Sheng's body is weak and unable to carry Fa Hai, which is a euphemism. However, if Qiu Sheng could have a Taoist like Nine Uncle, perhaps he could give it a try. Ah. Do you want to have the same Taoist skills as a master? Then forget it. Qiu Sheng suddenly felt his head grow bigger. He is just a three-legged cat with shallow Taoist skills. Do cultivators want to catch up with Uncle Nine? Not to mention everything, even half is difficult. Brother Gu, please show me which tattoo is suitable for me. Qiu Sheng added. He is not someone who likes to nitpick. If the Fa Hai tattoo doesn't work, then let's get a different tattoo. Wait a moment, Gu Nia looked at Qiu Sheng and pondered. With Qiu Sheng's personality, it is indeed a luxury for Daoist practitioners to achieve half of Uncle Qiu. So, don't consider characters at the level of Fa Hai. After thinking for a moment, Gu Nia suddenly had an idea. There are indeed two tattoos here that are quite suitable for you. You can see which one to choose for yourself. Gu Nia took out a tattoo guidebook, flipped through a page, and pushed it to Qiu Sheng. Qiu Sheng noticed the guidebook in front of him. The material of the guidebook was as warm as jade, and under the illumination of the light, it emitted a sparkling luster. For a moment, Qiu Sheng thought he had taken a fancy look, so he rubbed his eyes. The guidebook still emitted a warm luster. This is a treasure. Qiu Sheng couldn't help but sigh in his heart. Chapter 2. Three-legged golden toad shoulder scratches, I became strong. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2. Three-legged golden toad shoulder scratches, I became strong. Brother Gu, your picture book is really magical. Just looking at it makes me feel refreshed. Qiu Sheng looked at the tattoo guidebook in front of him and couldn't help but say. He didn't mean to boast about Guanyi. At this moment, he is truly refreshed and free from drowsiness. Do these two tattoos match each other? Gu Nia smiled and asked directly. This tattoo guidebook is certainly magical. A system-produced product must be a masterpiece. This is the only unique tattoo guidebook. Refreshing and awakening the mind is just one function, as for other functions, there are many more. They're all pretty good, can Gu tell me? Qiu Sheng looked at the two tattoos on the picture book, looking very conflicted. The tattoo on the left side of the guidebook is a three-legged golden toad. The tattoo on the right side of the guidebook is a koi. Okay, since there aren't many guests at this meeting, I'll tell you. Gu Nie did not refuse Qiu, pointing to the three-legged golden toad tattoo on the left. The three-legged golden toad is an auspicious thing that can bring prosperity to people and attract wealth to ward off evil. Speaking of which, Gu Nie's tone paused slightly before adding. In addition, the three-legged golden toad was originally an ancient giant beast with infinite power. If you tattoo it, not only can it attract wealth and promote financial luck, but its strength will also double. That's really good. Autumn Sheng's eyes lit up as he listened. The ancient giant beast sounds very impressive. What about this koi? Qiu Sheng quickly asked. This is not an ordinary koi, but a prajnaparamita koi, Gu Nie explained. Some tattoos are not singular. For example, the most common combination of the god of wealth and the white tiger, as well as the combination of koi and prajnaparamita, are also quite common. Prajnaparamita. Qiu Sheng was confused, but this was the first time he had heard the word. Prajnaparamita is a type of ghost in Japan, with the intention of warding off evil. When combined, it has the ability to attract wealth and ward off evil. Gu Nie's voice was calm. Each tattoo has its own unique meaning and purpose. Of course, in the past, many tattoo shops only used patterns to create beautiful designs, and very few of them could be effective. But in Gu Nie's tattoo shop, through his hand tattoos, what kind of tattoo has what kind of effect and effect? Japanese ghosts and monsters. Let's just forget about it. Qiu Sheng is still a traditional person deep down, and has no fondness for the gods and ghosts of distant Japan. In contrast, the three-legged golden toad on the left side of the tattoo guidebook appears better. Brother Gu, then give me a three-legged golden toad tattoo. Gu Nie saw that Qiu Sheng had made up his mind, nodded, took the tattoo guidebook over, and asked, where are the tattoos? On the left shoulder. Qiu Sheng thought for a moment and rolled up the sleeve on his left arm. Okay, just a moment, I'll go back and prepare the materials. Gu Nie nodded and got up to walk back. The materials are all stored in the system space, and purchasing materials requires merit. Gu Nie has also accumulated some merit points in the past 6 months. Purchasing tattoo materials for the three-legged golden toad from the system is more than enough. Quickly, Gu Nie walked out with a tattoo needle and pigment. His tattoos are purely handmade and do not require any machine assistance or repair products. Will it hurt too much? Qiu Sheng looked at the tattoo needle in Gu Nie's hand, feeling a little nervous. In this chaotic world, tattoo shops are definitely a novelty. If it weren't for his acquaintance with Gu Nie, Qiu Sheng wouldn't have thought of getting a tattoo on his body. It doesn't hurt at all, don't worry. Gu Nie shook his head and asked Qiu Sheng to wipe his arm before starting to tattoo him with three-legged golden toads. At first, Qiu Sheng was a bit nervous. Accompanied by the tattoo piercing, a tingling sensation came, and Qiu Sheng's heart suddenly relaxed. Crispy and numb, this feeling is quite satisfying. Not only that, he also felt a strange force condensing on his shoulder. That feeling was very magical, and he couldn't help but feel a bit intoxicated. He looked at Gu Nie and was about to say something, but when he saw his serious and focused magic, he immediately closed his mouth. Half an hour later, a lifelike three-legged golden toad stood quietly on Qiu Sheng's arm. It was completely natural, as if the three-legged golden toad was already there. Brother Gu, your technique is really impressive. Qiu Sheng couldn't help but sigh, and the more he looked at the three-legged golden toad tattoo on his arm, the more he liked it. Tattoos have benefits, but naturally there are also taboos. You must remember clearly and never make taboos. Gu Nie spoke up and admonished. Everything has its pros and cons. Tattoos are no exception. It's not wrong that it can bring good luck to people. But the premise is that people carrying tattoos cannot violate the taboo of carrying tattoos. Once a taboo is violated, it can result in losing its original good luck and effectiveness, and in severe cases, tattooing can devour the owner. Chapter 3. The literary talent who overturned the Samsung lamp. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. Chapter 3. The literary talent who overturned the Samsung lamp. Gunye's expression was solemn, and the taboo of tattooing was something that the tattoo artist would definitely tell the customers who came for tattoos. Otherwise, it would be harmful to human life. Sheng unconsciously swallowed his saliva and quickly asked, "Brother Gu, what are the taboos for my tattoo?" Sheng, you work in Yizhuang. Yizhuang is a gathering place for filth, and you often come and go in Yizhuang, inevitably getting contaminated with some filth. Gunye said calmly, if the three-legged golden toad gets contaminated, it will lose its ability to attract wealth. If it accumulates too much pollution, the golden toad may even become a poisonous toad, bringing you disaster. Upon hearing this, Sheng suddenly panicked. What should I do then? You don't have to worry too much. Every 2 or 3 days, you must set aside half an hour at night to meditate in the courtyard, exposing the three-legged golden toad on your arm and letting it swallow the moonlight to wash away its own filth. Okay, Brother Gu, I've taken note of it. Sheng nodded repeatedly and recorded this matter. Meditation every 2 to 3 days is not too troublesome. Gunye nodded and didn't speak again. Sheng was very witty and quickly asked, Brother Gu, how do I charge for this tattoo? My dear brothers are still calculating accounts. Gunye took out a toll bill. Sheng gazed intently. Regular tattoo. A big ocean, fan pin tattoo. 10 yuan ocean, high quality tattoo. 100 yuan ocean, premium tattoo. $1,000 in the ocean, 1,000 yuan in the ocean. Sheng's eyebrows twitched wildly as he looked at it. He had never seen so much money in his life. It's crazy to get a tattoo for just $1,000. Brother Gu, what level is my tattoo? Sheng asked. Fanpin tattoos haven't opened much recently, I'll give you a 50% discount, Gunye smiled, knowing of course about Sheng's income situation. Most of the time, Sheng and Jioshu earn nothing but dead money. Although not considered wealthy, it is not too stingy to even take out a few dollars. Sheng quickly took out 5 large oceans and handed them to Guanyi. I'll go back first, Brother Gu. At night, he and Wen Cai usually switch to guard the village. It's not good to come out for a long time. Go. Gunye nodded and gestured. After Sheng left, Gunye collected the 5 large oceans on the counter. Finally opened. Gunye shook his head. In this era, there aren't many people who can accept tattoos. After all, at this time, many people's bones are very traditional. The word of matchmaker ordered by parents is still very popular in this era. Let Sheng come and advertise and act as a sign for me, that's pretty good. Gunye naturally has his own plan for doing things. If his tattoo shop wants to become famous, it must let people know the wonders of his tattoos here. Sheng often goes out with Uncle Jiu to handle affairs, and of course, he is the best choice to promote tattoos. This is also the real reason why Gunye gave Sheng a discount. That 5 yuan is considered as promotional expenses for Sheng. Ding, congratulations to the host for successfully tattooing the mortal tattoo of the three-legged golden toad. Rewards. Three-legged golden toad seal card and golden toad manual. Ha! Did something explode? Gunye's eyes lit up and his heart was filled with great joy. Unexpectedly, after getting the ordinary tattoo, there is still such a harvest. Without hesitation, Gunye immediately retrieved all the rewards from the system. At the same time, after leaving the tattoo shop, Sheng headed straight back to Yizhuang. He didn't put down his rolled-up sleeves, as if there was some intention behind it. I'll go back later and show off to Wen Cai, Sheng thought proudly. Under the moonlight, I don't know if it's an illusion. Sheng felt as if the three-legged golden toad on his shoulder had come to life. Accompanied by his breathing and undulating steps, he was swallowing the moonlight. The entire three-legged golden toad tattoo is covered with a layer of pure white moonlight, which looks very magical. What's going on? It seems like the strength has really increased a lot. Is it an illusion? Qiu Sheng couldn't help but pinch his fist, feeling full of strength. This feeling is different from before, it is called a feeling of strength. Yizhuang, morgue. In the room where the four-eyed road chief specifically parks zombies. Wen Cai is helping to inspect these zombies. Whether it's him or Qiu Sheng, they will check it again at night and burn some incense to ensure that these zombies are fine. Dinner's over, everyone. Wen Cai recited words while offering incense. Suddenly, Wen Cai realized that the board with a pair of coffins had fallen off. Oh no, I ran out. Wen Cai suddenly felt his head grow bigger and quickly took off the gossip mirror on the wall. Fortunately, it's just one. If other zombies also run away, then I'm done. Over the years, Wen Cai has learned some basic skills from Uncle Qiu. Dealing with a zombie with shallow moral character, Wen Cai felt that he still had some confidence in his heart. 1, 2, 3. 7, 8, the number is correct. Wen Cai was the first to come behind the veil, and this row of zombies stood quietly here, with the talismans on their foreheads pasted well. The three-dot star lamp on the table is also very stable. Wen Cai couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief, turned his head, and the zombie with its fangs exposed rushed towards him. Ah! Wen Cai let out a scream and quickly stepped back. After touching the table, he realized and quickly placed the gossip mirror in his hand horizontally in front of him. The zombie clearly feared the gossip mirror in Wen Cai's hand and dared not move forward. I can't cure you anymore. Wen Cai finally calmed down and didn't have time to be happy. The next moment, a crisp sound came out. Pop. The three-star lamp on the table behind him was hit by him just now and fell directly to the ground. Chapter 4. Tattoo Shock, Bursting Autumn Life. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. Chapter 4 Tattoo Shock, Bursting Autumn Life, What Happened? Qiu Sheng had just returned to the Yizhuang when he heard a clanging sound coming from inside. What exactly is Wen Cai doing? Before Qiu Sheng could find Wen Cai, he saw several zombies jumping out of the room. Seeing these zombies, Qiu Sheng still doesn't understand. That Wen Cai guy must have caused trouble again. Roar. Zombies that are free from constraints and control, even those who frequently consume incense, will return to their true nature and become bloodthirsty. These zombies smelled the anger on Qiu Sheng and immediately rushed over. Bang! The door was knocked over, and Wen Cai fell into the yard. He happened to see Qiu Sheng standing at the door, as if he had found a savior. Qiu Sheng, I accidentally knocked over the Samsung lamp. Come and save me quickly. Has the Samsung lamp been knocked over? Qiu Sheng was taken aback and quickly understood what was going on. But now it's clear that it's not the time to blame, we need to find a way to subdue all the zombies first. Otherwise, it would be a big trouble. At this moment, the literary talent has completely panicked. He is a bit reluctant to deal with a zombie, not to mention so many zombies here. Even if I wasn't scared, I felt like I had a lot of courage. Roar. A zombie jumped high and rushed towards Wen Cai. Before Wen Cai could even get up from the ground, he couldn't dodge the flying pounce of the zombie. It's over. Wen Cai felt a thump in his heart, feeling that his life was in danger. Get out of here. Qiu Sheng let out a furious shout, took 3 steps in 2, and rushed straight to Wen Cai, kicking the zombie that was rushing towards him with 1 foot. Although both Qiu Sheng and Wen Cai are disciples of Uncle Qiu, their Taoist conduct and strength are completely different from each other. Wen Cai only knows a little bit at most, but in comparison, Qiu Sheng is much more skilled than Wen Cai. Bang! This zombie was kicked 3 or 4 meters by Qiu Sheng and fell heavily to the ground. But zombies have copper skin and iron bones, and this level of damage is nothing to them at all. Being attacked by the prey in their eyes, the zombie was instead aroused with ferocity, and red eyes killed Qiu Sheng. Humph, are you still afraid that you won't succeed? Autumn snorted coldly, picked up the stool in the yard, and threw it at the zombie in front of him. Click. The stool shattered into 2 pieces when it hit the zombie, indicating how hard Qiu Sheng had put in. Although zombies are made of copper skin and iron bones, they will still retreat when subjected to relatively strong blows. A zombie was repelled, but soon more zombies surrounded it. Wen Cai finally regained his senses and fought against these zombies with Qiu Sheng. Bang 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 bang. Wooden sticks, benches, brooms, dustpans, and so on. Anything that can be easily picked up is used by Qiu Sheng as a weapon against zombies. Unless absolutely necessary, no one wants to engage in close combat with zombies. For a moment, the smoke and soil flew freely in the courtyard, and the noise kept whispering. Why is it so noisy outside? In the room, Uncle Qiu woke up from his sleep when he heard the noise. Uncle Qiu put on his clothes, got up, and walked out. Junior brother, why did you come out too? Uncle Qiu had just left when he happened to meet the fourth-eyed Taoist. What are those 2 kids doing after being woken up? Why is there so much noise in the yard? Four-eyed Taoist looked bewildered and asked Uncle Qiu. I'm not sure, let's go take a look first. Uncle Qiu shook his head and rushed over with the four-eyed Taoist priest. The room where the 2 slept was not far from the morgue. Basically, it's a house built by the charity village. So soon, the 2 of them saw the battle taking place in the yard. Why did all the zombies come out? Four-eyed Taoist was taken aback. Uncle Qiu was speechless. These 2 disciples of mine really didn't make him feel at ease, they just gave him some tricks. Let's first subdue these zombies. Uncle Qiu made a decisive decision at the moment. He naturally distinguishes between the lighter and the heavier. Wait, senior brother, you're a bit powerful, disciple. Four-eyed Taoist suddenly grabbed Jiu and pointed to Qiu Sheng in the courtyard, saying. Uncle Qiu calmly looked around and was stunned in place. Qiu Sheng, when did he become so powerful? 2 fists are difficult to defeat 4 hands, and Qiu Sheng is quite adept at dealing with 1 or 2 zombies. But if 5 or 6 zombies were to besiege together, Wen Cai, you have caused me great harm. Qiu Sheng secretly complained. These zombies seem to know they are difficult to deal with, and they have ignored Wen Cai and attacked him together. Faced with the siege of zombies, Okamoto couldn't bear it all at once. Several times it was full of danger, narrowly avoiding the claws and fangs of zombies. I'm still a virgin, am I going to cool down here today? Qiu Sheng was panting heavily and his forehead was covered in sweat. At this moment, he felt a surge of heat coming from his shoulders. Immediately afterwards, a stunning light burst out from the 3-legged golden toad tattoo on Qiu Sheng's left shoulder. If someone reads it, please give the author some data tips or something. The author needs to make a living, as long as the data is good, they will definitely not cut books. Chapter 5. One punch explodes zombies, tattoos can have this. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. One punch explodes zombies, can tattoos have such a great effect? Hot. Qiu Sheng felt a burning sensation on his left shoulder. But this heat does not make Qiu Sheng feel pain, but rather dissipates the fatigue on his body. There seems to be a constant stream of strength surging out of the body. What's going on? Qiu Sheng instinctively spread out his hands. I don't know when, my hands were covered with a layer of sparkling luster. The flesh and blood-generated hands were like jade at this moment. Sturdy and impervious to all evil. These 2 thoughts naturally popped up in Qiu Sheng's mind. Roar. Qiu Sheng was stunned and a zombie seized the opportunity and thrust its stiff arms horizontally. Not to mention being human, even a wooden stake will have 2 holes pierced. Qiu Sheng reacted and stood still. At this moment, he felt like he was in a very wonderful state. Mighty, unparalleled strength. If the attack from the zombie in front of him had been in the past, Qiu would not have dared to confront it head-on. Even in the face of most zombie attacks, Qiu needs to dodge in embarrassment. But now, it's not necessary anymore. At this moment, here. No need to dodge, no need to dodge. Get lost. Qiu had no fear in his heart and launched a surprise attack, directly punching the zombie in front of him. This punch is powerful and heavy. The smashing air hummed. Bang! The piercing sound explosion made Wen Cai on the side unable to help but cover his ears and let out a painful howl. The next moment, Qiu fist, emitting a sparkling luster, fiercely hit the zombie. In the shocked eyes of Wen Cai, Jiu, and Simu Daochang. Boom! The zombie with copper skin and iron bones was directly blasted by Qiu punch. Clothes and minced meat scattered all over the ground. What? Qiu was stunned. He never expected that he would be so powerful now, that he was a zombie with copper skin and iron bones. A zombie that is difficult to injure with a sword and knife, was unexpectedly punched by oneself and turned into ground pieces of meat. This. The literary talent, who was covering his ears, almost had a pair of eyes protruding. Autumn, not far away, was draped in moonlight, as if wearing a layer of divine armor. On the left shoulder, there is a three-legged golden toad, shining brightly in its eyes. At this moment, Wen Cai felt like he had an illusion, as if Qiu in front of him was no longer a human, but a god, a legendary immortal. What kind of Taoist art is this? The ninth uncle beside him also looked silly. One punch exploded a zombie, and Qiu was so awesome. How could he, as a master, not know? Four-eyed Taoist also took a deep breath of air and was shocked by Qiu actions. Not only them, but also the other zombies on the side were stunned, standing in place one by one, as if frightened by Qiu brutality. Next up. The four-eyed Taoist let out a scream. My dear, Qiu, stop it quickly. Leave the remaining zombies to the martial uncle to deal with. The four-eyed Taoist travels in all directions, and his greatest skill is to transport back the people who died horizontally and turned into zombies, so that after these people die, they can fall leaves and return to their roots. Others are afraid of zombies, but in the eyes of the four-eyes Taoist, these are all his customers and treasures that can bring him money. Now, I was knocked out by Qiu and suffered a huge loss. Step on it. Step on it. The screams of the four-eyed Taoist brought the other zombies back to their senses. They no longer attacked the Qiu group, but scattered in all directions. Obviously, they want to stay away from autumn life. This human is really terrifying. Junior brother, take action. Uncle Qiu saw these zombies running away and immediately took action. Pinching the talisman in his hand, he quickly pasted the talisman paper onto the forehead of the nearest zombie. Suddenly, the zombie seemed to have been immobilized, staying in place without moving. After finishing the first one, Uncle Qiu didn't stop, but ran towards the other zombie. Zombies are extremely bloodthirsty, and once they run out, they will bring disaster to the side. Is this really what I did? Qiu stood on the side, scratching his head in shock, but his heart was filled with passion. That's a zombie, unexpectedly being hammered out by oneself. This is something that Qiu couldn't even think of before. But now he has achieved it without any effort. Qiu, what happened just now? Qiu was pondering when Uncle Qiu quickly walked up to him and curiously asked. Just a few zombies with shallow paths, Jiu and Simu Daochang teamed up and quickly subdued all the remaining zombies. Qiu looked up and saw the puzzled expression of his master and uncle. How many skills does Qiu have? It's not surprising that the four-eyed Taoist is not clear. As the ninth uncle of Qiu master, how could he not be clear? There must be some tricks in here. Faced with Uncle Qiu's questioning, Qiu also looked bewildered and spread his hands. I don't know either. The feeling just now came quickly and went quickly. Anyway, Qiu Sheng thinks it's magical and also finds it unbelievable. But how that power came about is really unclear to Qiu Sheng. I don't know. Jiushu and Simu Daochang looked at each other, obviously not believing Qiu Sheng's words. Seeing Qiu Sheng's puzzled expression, Uncle Qiu couldn't help but speak up. Qiu Sheng, have you been to any places recently and encountered any strange things? Qiu Sheng quickly shook his head and said, Master, I haven't been running around lately and haven't encountered anything. Oh, by the way, I went to Gu Ji's place for a tattoo at night, and when I came back, I met Wen Cai who was being chased by zombies. Listen to Qiu Sheng's answer. Uncle Qiu and Taoist Simu were even more puzzled. Tattoos. Can tattoos have such a great effect? How could this be possible? If someone reads it, please give the author some data tips or something. The author needs to make a living, as long as the data is good, they will definitely not cut books. Chapter 6. The Golden Toad Classic, Introducing Moon Blossom and Quenching Body. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. The Golden Toad Classic, Introducing Moon Blossom and Quenching Body. When Gu Nia moved in, he had seen it a few times, but not many. He has a keen eye and is very accurate in judging people. Although I don't know Gu Nia's background, in this chaotic world, one person dares to venture out without any skills. Who dares? However, Gu Nia, like Qiu Sheng, is not very old, and his friendship with young people is not something that Uncle Qiu would interfere with. Show me your tattoo, Uncle Qiu said with some unease. The power that Qiu Sheng just unleashed is truly amazing. This is the three-legged golden toad that Brother Gu tattooed on me. Qiu Sheng rolled up his sleeves and revealed his newly tattooed tattoo. Four-eyed Taoist also leaned over and looked at the tattoo on Qiu Sheng's shoulder. The tattoo is quite vivid, it's no different from living, he said as he spoke. The four-eyed Taoist couldn't help but reach out and flick the three-legged golden toad on Qiu Sheng's shoulder. It's really impressive to confuse fake with real. Uncle Qiu felt the same way, and after careful examination, he didn't find anything inappropriate or strange. So, Uncle Qiu finally calmed down. But Qiu Sheng will not erupt for no reason. As Qiu Sheng's master, Uncle Qiu naturally intends to figure out the reason. It seems we need to take some time to go to the tattoo shop. Is the explosion of autumn life related to tattoos? Uncle Qiu did not think in this way. He thought that perhaps Qiu Sheng had encountered something strange. With Qiu Sheng's temperament, he won't take it to heart at all. So he plans to find a time to go to the tattoo shop and ask Gu Nia, to see if Gu Nia knows anything. Senior brother, there are only a few hours until dawn, and I have to hurry on my way, said the four-eyed Taoist suddenly. The corpse driver works at sunset and rests at sunrise. Okay, then you go early and return early. Uncle Qiu nodded. The four-eyed Taoist is still very confident in his work, Four-eyed Taoist nodded, picked up his backpack, and shook the bell in his hand. Ding! The bell made a crisp sound. Those zombies seemed to have received instructions, jumping up one by one in line and following behind the four-eyed Taoist. Four-eyed Taoist walked at the front, shaking the bell as he walked. The zombies behind follow in an orderly manner. Soon, the group disappeared into the darkness. It would be great if I had the skills of a senior uncle at some point, Qiu Sheng said with envy as he watched the four-eyed Taoist leave in the yard. Dong! Uncle Qiu reached out and directly tapped Qiu Sheng's head, but couldn't help but say, put in more effort, it will work sooner or later. Why don't you go back to sleep now? Master, I'm not tired at all, said Qiu Sheng, waving his fists twice, as if he wanted to practice a set of martial arts. He just relied on these fists and forcefully killed a zombie. Although it was already late at night, Qiu Sheng had no drowsiness at all and was extremely excited. Not tired. Uncle Qiu's face turned black. Why are you so tired, Wen Cai? Let's go back to sleep. Qiu Sheng didn't dare to play tricks anymore, so he quickly picked up Wen Cai, who was still in a daze, and walked into the room. When he reached the door, Qiu Sheng turned back and smiled. "Master, you should go back and rest as soon as possible." "This kid." Uncle Jiu smiled and shook his head, then turned around and left. Among the two disciples, Qiu Sheng and Wen Cai, the one he valued the most was Qiu Sheng. Literary talent is too timid to become a great talent. On the contrary, it's autumn life, and all aspects are good, but it still needs to be polished in order to grow. Tattoo shop. Gu Nye has returned to the room and started checking the reward he just received. The three-legged golden toad seal card. After use, it can summon the body of the three-legged golden toad and be absolutely loyal to the host. The three-legged golden toad devours and evolves, and can grow into a great demon. After reviewing the introduction of the three-legged golden toad seal card, Gu Nye's eyes lit up. This is a good thing. Without summoning the three-legged golden toad in a hurry, Gu Nye turned to another reward. The Golden Toad Classic. Gu Nye took it very seriously and couldn't help feeling overjoyed after a moment. This is actually the cultivation method. After practice, you can swallow the essence of the sun and moon, strengthen your physique and improve your accomplishments. At a certain level, one can even eat ghosts to refine essence, swallow the sky and eat the moon, which can be considered abnormal. Start practicing. Gu Nye immediately memorized the technique and put it into practice. He sat with his knees crossed, his eyes closed, and felt the essence of the sun and the moon according to the content of the Golden Toad Sutra. It only takes 10 minutes. Waves of pure white fluorescence converged towards Gu Nye through the gaps in the windows and doors. Gu Nye opened his eyes and reached out his hand, and strands of pure white fluorescence seemed to be pulled and gathered in Gu Nye's palm, then disappeared. Is this the essence of the moon that permeates the world? Gu Nye couldn't help but sigh. It was his first time practicing the Golden Toad Manual, and he didn't feel any difficulties. He quickly learned the Golden Toad Manual. He knew that the essence of those months was not to disappear, but to integrate into his body and improve his physique. After improving his physical condition, Gu Nye's own cultivation will naturally progress and enhance. However, just after practicing, Gu Nye felt a significant increase in his physical strength. If this continues for a long time, wouldn't it be possible to reach the level of ninth uncle soon? At that time, chasing ghosts and chopping zombies may be easy to catch. At the thought of this, the smile on Gu Nye's face reappeared. However, the introduction to the Golden Toad Manual is simple, and it is extremely difficult to cultivate it to perfection. So, even if Gu Nye has extraordinary talent, he still needs to find a way to open cheats. Thinking of this, Gu Nye shifted his gaze to his only remaining point of merit. If someone reads it, please give the author some data tips or something. The author needs to make a living. As long as the data is good, they will definitely not cut books. Chapter 7 Breaking Through the Second Layer of Qi Training, Ren Tingting. 2. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7 Breaking Through the Second Layer of Qi Training, Ren Tingting. In order to be fashionable, tattoos are necessary. Divine Tattooer System Host. Gu Nye Technique. Golden Toad Manual Realm. One layer of Qi cultivation can be increased by consuming 200 merit points, merit point. 500 item. Golden Toad Seal Card. I reached the level of Qi cultivation for the first time. Gu Nye couldn't help but exclaim as he looked at his information panel. The Golden Toad Classic is truly extraordinary. Of course, the most terrifying aspect still belongs to merit points. By using merit points, one can elevate one's cultivation level, which is equivalent to allowing Gu Nye to attain enlightenment twice. Can you improve by 200 merit points? Seeing this, Gu Nye did not hesitate. If you earn merit points, they will be used for it. Schwa. With a flash of moonlight, Gu Nye's bones all over his body made a crisp sound like stir-fried beans. Practice the second layer of Qi. If you don't practice, you don't know the strength of a cultivator. Gu Nye moved his wrist and pushed the door to the courtyard. He picked up a scattered green hill stone and threw it casually. Ha! Gu Nye slapped it. Click. The hard Qinggang stone suddenly split into pieces and turned into crushed stones scattered all over the ground. Although it's only the Qi refining period, every small level of improvement can make my body stronger. Gu Nye's eyes were blazing with flames. For others, cultivation requires accumulation over time, but they don't need it. As long as they have enough merit points, their cultivation can quickly improve. And this improvement will not have any sequelae. It can be said that a brilliant path of cultivation stands before Gu Nye. Besides doing well, how can one obtain merit points in the system? Gu Nye directly communicated with the system. He had not opened a tattoo shop before, so he could only do some small things to accumulate merit points. After working hard for a month, I finally accumulated 100 merit points. Tattooed Qiu Shengwen rewarded him with 200 merit points. At present, only 300 points of merit have been accumulated for so long. If you exchange a few more tattoo patterns, you may have to go back to before the liberation. Accumulate merit points in the same way as before. A drop in the bucket is a drop in the bucket. Report to the host that they can obtain merit points through tattoos, but only those with ordinary or higher tattoos can obtain merit points. In addition, killing ghosts, demons, zombies. Killing heinous villains can earn corresponding merit rewards. The system directly answered the question raised by Gu Nye. There are so many ways to obtain merit points. Gu Nye suddenly realized and then fell into contemplation. The world of zombies is full of danger, even people like Joshu will be helpless when encountering powerful zombies. Gu Nye is clear that in the zombie world, powerful zombies are everywhere. It's too dangerous to go out and kill zombies with my current cultivation level. Ghosts and monsters can bewitch people, but they are also very tricky. Gu Nye felt his head grow bigger. Qiu Sheng also has some Taoist skills, but she is also fascinated by female ghosts. If it weren't for Uncle Jiu's intervention, Qiu Sheng would have been squeezed dry long ago. Gu Nye will not blindly inflate, ultimately, he is just a novice who has just entered the realm of cultivation. 2 words. Seeking stability. In the courtyard, Gu Nye sighed lightly and said, "We can only start with tattoos and accumulate merit points. As for killing zombies and ghosts, it depends on the situation and opportunities." The next day. Ren Tingting, what's wrong with a girl? You must have a tattoo. Be good, let's go buy jewelry and have dessert. Ren's head was as big as a sieve. His precious daughter finally returned from the provincial capital. As soon as Ren Tingting returned, she insisted on getting a tattoo. Dad, this is a symbol of fashion. People in the provincial capital, as well as my foreign classmates, have tattoos, Ren Tingting pouted. She spends years in the provincial capital and has seen many of them. After being exposed to tattoos, Ren Tingting immediately fell in love with them. I haven't heard of any tattoo spots here, Mr. Ren shook his head repeatedly. He knows very well what's going on around him from all over the place. For Ren Tingting, let alone how spoiled Mr. Ren is. Basically, there is always a response to every request. As long as Ren Tingting wants something, Grandpa Ren will buy it for her. But tattoos? He really can't find where to look. Upon hearing these words, Ren Tingting's pretty face suddenly collapsed, with a gloomy expression on her face. Tingting, it's not that Dad doesn't want you to get a tattoo, it's because we really don't have a tattoo in this place. Mr. Ren saw his daughter's gloomy expression and quickly approached to explain. No matter how much he tried to persuade, Ren Tingting was always unhappy, which left Mr. Ren speechless. However, at this moment, Ren Wei, who had been standing beside him, suddenly spoke up and flattered Ren Tingting. Cousin, I know there's a place where you can get a tattoo, it's still a new one. Ren Tingting exclaimed with joy, really, cousin. More real than real gold, cousin, I'll take you there. Ren Wei saw Ren Tingting's smiling face and his eyes widened. Quickly take me to take a look. Ren Tingting didn't notice Ren Wei's pig-like appearance, and now her heart was filled with joy. I thought tattoos were hopeless. I didn't expect there to be a newly opened tattoo shop near Renjia town. Ren Wei regained his senses and hurriedly led the way, his heart also blossoming with joy. There aren't many opportunities to be so attentive. If we make Ren Tingting happy, then. He. Mr. Ren sat on the chair, watching as Ren Tingting and Ren Wei left, also breathed a long sigh of relief. With Ren Wei following, the safety of his daughter is certainly not a problem. As for tattoos. If Ren Tingting wants to have a tattoo, then let's do it. If someone reads it, please give the author some data tips or something. The author needs to make a living, as long as the data is good, they will definitely not cut books. Chapter 8 Ren Wei. Dogs will get slapped when they see me. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8 Ren Wei. Dogs get slapped when they see me, tattoo shops in the suburbs. Cousin, isn't the tattoo place in town? Ren Tingting followed Ren Wei, but she didn't expect Ren Wei to take her directly outside the town. She couldn't help but feel a bit curious. Yes, when I passed by before, I thought it was a bit strange, Ren Wei quickly explained. When he was taking someone to deliver the body to Yizhuang a while ago, he happened to see a tattoo shop open next to Yizhuang. However, Ren Wei left in a hurry and didn't even go in to see. If it weren't for Ren Tingting getting a tattoo, Ren Wei wouldn't have remembered this. Oh, cousin, hurry up, Ren Tingting nodded without much thought. Soon. The two of them arrived at the tattoo shop. The tattoo shop is a typical wooden structure, and the door curtain is ancient and outdated, filled with the atmosphere of time. So broken. Ren Wei was stunned for a moment. Last time, he only glanced briefly, not carefully. He never expected that the tattoo shop next to the Yizhuang would be so shabby and shabby. Finally arrived. Ren Tingting didn't care so much. After returning from the provincial capital, she couldn't forget tattoos. Now that she finally arrived at the tattoo shop she was longing for, Ren Tingting wouldn't care about anything else. Fortunately, my cousin wasn't angry. I'm sure I won't come to this terrible place myself. Ren Wei patted the dust off his body, his face full of disgust, but he still followed Ren Tingting into the tattoo shop. As soon as she entered the tattoo shop, Ren Tingting felt a refreshing breeze blowing in. The heat and fatigue of the journey just now have also subsided a lot. This place is really nice, Ren Tingting was pleasantly surprised. Tattoo shop cornices, green tiles, carved beams and painted rafters, lifelike. Unknown paintings hung on the surrounding walls, and Ren Tingting didn't know if it was her own illusion. She always felt that the objects and scenery in these paintings were brilliant and vivid, as if they were just like the real thing. Where's the boss? Hurry up and come out to entertain the guests. Before Ren Tingting could speak, Ren Wei took the lead and shouted loudly. He raised his head slightly, straightened his hat, straightened his body, and automatically put on a proud and coquettish posture. In the backyard, Gu Nye is practicing. Is the guest here? Gu Nye heard the movement of the tattoo shop and stood up directly to end his cultivation. The Golden Toad manual allows Gu Nye to practice anytime, day or night. When the tattoo shop is open, if there are no customers in the shop, Gu Nye will stay in the backyard, meditating and practicing. He lifted the curtain and walked into the tattoo shop from the backyard. As soon as she looked up, Gu Nye saw Ren Wei and Ren Tingting. Ren Wei's appearance as the leader and my second son left Gu Nye speechless for a while. This is not a guest, it's clearly here to find fault. He looked indifferent and ignored Ren Wei directly, walking straight to the counter and sitting down. Perhaps if Ren Wei goes to another place, other bosses will treat him like an uncle and confess. But in Gunye's tattoo shop. He doesn't like this kind of thing here. Hey, how do you do business? Can't you see the customers? Ren Wei became angry when he saw Gunye ignoring him. I leaked the logo of the captain of the security team on my sleeve and shouted loudly. I am Ren Wei, the captain of the security team in Rinjia town. Do you still want to do this business? As the captain of the security team, wherever Ren Wei goes, there are plenty of people flattering him. Is this guy in front of me going against the sky? Gunye's eyelids were too lazy to lift. Ren Wei is somewhat snobbish and likes to bully others. Such a person, Gunye, is too lazy to talk nonsense to him. Alright, cousin, how could you do things like this? Ren Tingting was a bit dissatisfied, and she didn't like Ren Wei's appearance. Tingting, it's this guy who looks down on others. How could anyone in business not welcome a customer? Ren Wei spoke confidently. In his mind, money is the master. Those who have money and power are the masters. Wherever they go, others have to serve them well and kindly. Obviously, Ren Wei felt like this kind of person. Ren Tingting didn't want to say so much nonsense to Ren Wei. She bypassed Ren Wei and walked straight to the counter. Just glancing at Gunye sitting behind the counter, he couldn't help but freeze in place. Long eyebrows entering the temples, face like a crown of jade, eyes like stars, high and straight nose bridge, thin lips with a touch of sentimentality. Especially Gunye's skin, fair and translucent, made Ren Tingting envious upon seeing it. Sensing Ren Tingting's gaze, Gunye then asked, "Tattoo?" Ren Tingting suddenly regained her composure, her pretty face blushing slightly, and she felt a little nervous. She said crisply. Yes, I don't know what styles of tattoos you have here. Ren Tingting has visited those tattoo shops in the provincial capital. Although she likes tattoos, Ren Tingting doesn't randomly choose a tattoo on her body. Since you want to tattoo it on your body, you must choose a pattern that you like, and the tattoo master's craftsmanship also needs to pass the level. Which one of you has a tattoo? Gunye glanced at Ren Wei. Ren Wei snorted, feeling very unhappy, but he didn't get angry and didn't want to disturb his cousin's interest. Ren Tingting extended her tender white hand and pointed to herself. Boss, it's me who wants a tattoo. The data in the previous picture has been modified, with 500 merit points. Then, we rewarded Sheng with 200 merit points for his tattoo, which may have been delayed by the system. You can take a look later, and the author's rhythm will be laid out. Don't worry, the exciting points are all at the back, seeking fresh flowers and evaluation votes. We hope everyone can support us. Chapter 9. A Flower and 1,000 Leaves, a Seductive Rose, with Patterns. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9. A flower and 1,000 leaves, a seductive rose, tattooing one's body is more profitable than stealing money. Gunye recognized Ren Tingting. Her face is like peach blossoms, with a gentle expression in her eyes and a proud figure. Ren Tingting's beauty is well known in this area. She is the only one from 10 miles and 8 townships who can have such a beautiful woman. Gunye took out the tattoo guidebook and opened it. These 3 patterns are more suitable for you, let's see which one you like. Ren Tingting took the tattoo guidebook and a hint of surprise flashed on her pretty face. She couldn't help but touch the guidebook with her little hand and asked, "Boss, where did you buy this book?" Although it is just a picture book made of paper, it feels warm and smooth like jade to the touch. The guidebook still emits a faint ink fragrance, which is extremely pleasant to smell. I brought it from my hometown, but it's not easy for a girl to buy. Gunye knew what Ren Tingting was thinking and simply replied. It's a pity. Ren Tingting shook her head and didn't insist. She came this time for a tattoo, so buying a book is not important. Without worrying about anything else, Ren Tingting shifted her gaze to the tattoo patterns in the picture book. Ren Tingting first saw a 3-legged golden toad. The three-legged golden toad looked up at the sky and seemed to be swallowing the essence of the sun and the moon. It looked very strange. This tattoo doesn't fit me very well. Ren Tingting quickly shifted her gaze away from the three-legged golden toad. As a girl, tattooing a three-legged golden toad on her body would definitely not look good. With a hopeful mood, Ren Tingting looked at the second tattoo pattern. A koi swims freely, but behind it, Prajnaparamita surrounds it. "Boss, is this the Prajna carp?" Ren Tingting asked. The girl has a good understanding, just like the Prajnaparamita koi, Gu Nye nodded. Ren Tingting is not unfamiliar with some foreign things. The combination of Prajnaparamita and koi gave Ren Tingting a strong discomfort. She shook her head gently, like a common carp, she didn't like it. It seems like she's going back empty-handed again, Ren Tingting sighed, her originally happy mood feeling a bit low. She just wants to choose a desired tattoo on her body, is that all? Wow. Ren Tingting remained patient and turned to the next page. She originally had no hope for today's tattoo anymore. But the next moment, Ren Tingting spoke out with joy. What a beautiful rose. A rose suddenly appeared. After seeing this rose tattoo pattern, Ren Tingting knew that she had found the tattoo she wanted. "Boss, I want to have this tattoo." Due to excitement and joy, Ren Tingting's pretty face turned slightly red, and her cheeks were as pink as peach blossoms, beautiful and moving. Qing rose is a household with lush branches and leaves. If you don't shake the fragrance, it will be chaotic. If there is no wind, the flowers will fly on their own. Gu Nye couldn't help but laugh when he saw Ren Tingting's joyful expression. In me the tiger sniffs the rose. The beauty of roses is evident. At the same time, Gu Nye secretly felt fortunate in his heart. Fortunately, I just spent 300 merit points to exchange for a new tattoo pattern, otherwise there would be no tattoos left. Except for regular tattoos, all other levels of tattoos require Gu Nye to spend merit points to redeem from the system. But he must have made a profit. How much does this tattoo cost? Ren Wei, who had been silent, asked. If you want to pursue a beauty, you naturally have to cater to her preferences. Ren Wei was so delighted to see Ren Tingting and knew that his opportunity to perform had come. "Tingting, cousin Xian has paid for you." Ren Wei patted his chest and said arrogantly. "Not expensive, 10 yuan in ocean," Gu Nye said lightly. Upon hearing these words, Ren Wei couldn't help but be taken aback, then pointed at Gu Nye and angrily said, $10 of ocean is not expensive. Why don't you go grab it? He only earns a few dollars a month as the security captain. Now that Gu Nye has a tattoo, how dare he ask for 10 yuan? Crazy. If you can't afford it, don't pretend to be a wealthy person, Gu Nye sneered without leaving a face. Ren Wei's pursuit of Ren Tingting is not true love. Unexpectedly, he became greedy for the property of the Ren family. This is the true face of Ren Wei kneeling and licking Ren Tingting. Ren Wei's face suddenly turned red like pig liver, trembling with anger. You, who can't afford it. Isn't it just 10 yuan? How could I not afford it? Anyway, he cannot lose face in front of Ren Tingting. Cousin, stop fooling around, Ren Tingting said with some displeasure, then took out 10 pieces of ocean from her purse and handed it to Gu Nye. 10 fast ocean, boss, please keep it safe. From beginning to end, Ren Tingting's expression remained unchanged, only joyful. For her, it's too cheap to buy her desired tattoo in just $10. On one side, Ren Wei's eyes lit up as he saw Ren Tingting withdraw money from her purse. If I could marry my cousin, wouldn't all the money in the Ren family belong to me? Ren Tingting, of course, was unaware of Ren Wei's dirty thoughts and asked lightly. Boss, what is the name of this tattoo? And what is its meaning? After being exposed to tattoos, Ren Tingting specifically went to learn about the knowledge and culture of tattoos. She knows that tattoos represent a commitment and pursuit of beauty. After all, it's about following her lifelong tattoo, so Ren Tingting naturally wants it to be both beautiful and have a good meaning. You can call it a 1,000-leaf rose, or you can call it a seductive rose, Gu Nye said the name of the tattoo lightly. A flower and 1,000 leaves, unwavering, fearless of life and death, strong and brave. After tattooing it, the rose will bless you and bring you courage and beauty. Ah! Why are they still called seductive roses? Ren Tingting propped up her chin and looked at Gu Nye, who had a graceful demeanor, wondering. Please give us some flowers, give us some review tickets, and if you have money, give us some tips. Thank you for your support. Thank you. Chapter 10. Shy Ren Tingting, isn't this not good? You are listening at novel full.audio. Chapter 10. Shy Ren Tingting, isn't this not good? Roses have thorns, and the more beautiful things are, the more they need to learn to protect themselves, Gu Nye explained. If someone harbors ill intentions towards you and wants to harm you, the enchanting rose will bloom. Ren Tingting frowned slightly, nodding her head as if she understood something. Ren Wei sneered beside him, pretending to be a god or a ghost, it's just a tattoo. I'll blow it to the sky for you. Gu Nye looked at him with a slightly cold expression. My tattoo shop doesn't welcome you, you can go out now. Goods like Ren Wei, Gu Nye wouldn't get used to him. Do you dare to drive me away? Ren Weidun became angry. He is the captain of the security team, and Gu Nye didn't want to be polite to him. He also endured it. Now, surprisingly, I have to drive myself out. How dare he? Ren Tingting could tell that Gu Nye was really angry. She was afraid that Gu Nye would not tattoo herself, so she quickly said to Ren Wei, cousin, you go out and wait for me first. Who knows what crooked idea he had, cousin, don't be fooled by him. Ren Wei stood still and directly splashed dirty water on Gu Nye. Gu Nye is really handsome. He doesn't trust these two people being alone in a room. Do you think everyone is as dirty as you? Gu Nye sneered. Bastard, what are you saying? Ren Wei's veins surged on his forehead. Cousin. Ren Tingting's voice rose a few keys, she was really a bit angry. Cousin, don't be angry, I'll just go out. Ren Wei quickly admitted to Ren Tingting's angry expression. He walked out while still warning Gu Nye. I'll wait outside. Don't have any ulterior motives, otherwise I'll definitely make it difficult for you to leave. Walking to the door, Ren Wei still felt a bit uneasy, saying. If anything happens to my cousin, just call me and my cousin will definitely protect you. Ren Tingting is speechless. What is her cousin thinking every day? After Ren Wei left, the tattoo shop returned to desolation. Gu Nye's face improved a bit, and Ren Wei is indeed detestable. He runs fast, otherwise a fierce light flashed through Gu Nye's eyes. Chiba Rose has many benefits. After being tattooed, it can make you have a unique fragrance and greatly enhance your charm. Really? Ren Tingting's beautiful eyes were incredibly bright. Of course, Gu Nye nodded and then said, but before that, there's a question. Boss, what do you say? Ren Tingting looked curiously at Gu Nye, unsure of what he wanted to ask. Of course, it's not that Gu Nye has many things to do. But the 1,000-leaf rose is quite unique, it must be a virgin body to be tattooed. But after tattooing, there is no such requirement anymore. But this matter cannot be asked too directly, otherwise there is definitely a possibility of being beaten. Thinking of this, Gu Nye coughed lightly. I wonder if the girl has someone she likes. Ah. Ren Tingting was immediately stopped by the question, and her earrings turned pink. She hesitated and said, not yet, not yet. Seeing her like this, Gu Nye couldn't tell. Ren Tingting must still be a virgin without human resources. Boss, why do you suddenly remember to ask me this? Ren Tingting was a bit shy as she spoke, afraid to look directly into Gu Nye's eyes. Gu Nye saw her appearance and found it interesting, so he smiled. It's nothing, I just feel a bit curious. After all, the beauty of the girl's appearance will definitely be liked by some people. Just ask casually. Of course, this is what Gu Nye used to perfunctory her. Whether Ren Tingting is beautiful or not doesn't matter to Gu Nye. He just wants to know if Ren Tingting meets the conditions for a patterned thousand-leaf rose. Upon hearing these words, Ren Tingting's face turned red and she quickly reached out to fan the air in front of the fan. Why is it suddenly getting a little hot? Ren Tingting perfectly explained to Gu Nye what it means to hide one's ears and steal a bell. This girl is quite interesting. Gu Nye straightened his mind and said, tattoos are taboos, I believe you have also understood them. I know this. What are the taboos for me to tattoo this thousand-leaf rose? When it comes to tattooing, Ren Tingting is no longer nervous. Chiba rose is a blessing for beautiful love, so after you tattoo it, you cannot mess with it or do anything inappropriate. Gu Nye said Chiba rose is taboo. If one violates taboos, the consequences can be very serious. Ren Tingting is not foolish. Thinking of Gu Nye's question just now, her pretty face blushed as if it could drip water. Oh my God, isn't he asking me if I'm still a virgin? Ren Tingting only felt a fiery expression on her face. Just now, she thought Gu Nye had some thoughts about her. Now, thinking about it, I've lost my life. Cough cough, I don't know where the girl wants to tattoo the Qianye rose. Gu Nye knew that Ren Tingting had reacted and quickly changed the topic. Is it okay on the chest? Sure enough, when it comes to tattoos, Ren Tingting is not shy anymore. Chest. Gu Nye shook his hand. If it weren't for what he had seen with his own eyes, would this be something Ren Tingting could have said? But after all, this is Ren Tingting's request. Gu Nye tried to calm down and nodded in response, sure. Tattoo on the outside. Ren Wei paced back and forth, his face full of impatience. Damn it, really damn it. He looked inside the tattoo shop, eager to see through, but unfortunately, through the curtain, Ren Wei couldn't see anything. Humph, let you be proud for a while longer. Bully me, Wei Xiao. Look at me turning around and not finding anyone to burn down your shop. The VIP tips and monthly tickets given by brothers have been received by the author. Thank you for your support, thank you all. Then, we will ask for some flowers and evaluation tickets. If there are any, just give them some points. Thank you.